Ethan Blake sat silently in the back seat of his black Rolls-Royce, watching raindrops race down the window. At 34, he was one of New York's youngest self-made billionaires. Tech empire. Global influence. And yet, completely alone. The driver glanced in the rearview mirror. "Another tough one, sir." Ethan didn't answer. He was still hearing the words from his latest blind date, "You're sweet, but I just don't see myself in your world." The 20th rejection in under a year. 20 carefully selected women, accomplished, elegant, all vetted by his PR team. But every single one had walked away. He wasn't arrogant. He didn't brag. But Ethan had learned that wealth made people cautious, sometimes even cruel. As the car pulled up to his penthouse, his assistant Natalie texted, "One more match left. Total long shot. Poor background. Lives in West Virginia." "You sure?" He stared at the message. Something in him stirred. He typed back, "Set it up." Down in the rugged hills of West Virginia, 26-year-old Harper Lane scrubbed coal dust from her fingers. She'd worked the mines since her dad passed, trading dreams for survival. Her younger brother Eli, just 12, sat at the table doing homework. "Harper, you're gonna miss your call," he shouted. She rushed to her cracked phone. "Hi, this is Harper." A warm voice replied, "Hi Harper, I'm Natalie. I manage a high-profile client. He's looking for someone real. Would you be willing to go on a blind date in New York? All expenses paid." Harper laughed, thinking it was a joke. But something about the caller's tone felt genuine. After a long pause, she said, "I guess, why not?" That night, after putting Eli to bed, Harper looked at their leaking ceiling and peeling walls. Maybe one dinner couldn't hurt. Maybe this was a sign. Ethan waited at the rooftop garden of the Luna Terrace Hotel. He wore a simple navy sweater, not his usual suit. This time, no glamour. Just himself. Harper stepped out of the elevator, wearing a thrifted blue dress and a hesitant smile. Her eyes, though, sparkled with quiet resilience. Ethan stood, heart oddly nervous. "You must be Harper." She nodded. "And you must be way overdressed for a blind date." He laughed genuinely, for the first time in months. They talked for hours. About books. About coal mines. About code and calloused hands. She didn't ask about his money. She didn't care. As the night ended, Harper turned to him. "You're not like I imagined a billionaire would be." He smiled. "Neither are you like anyone I've ever met." The next day, Ethan invited Harper and Eli to spend the weekend in the city. She hesitated, but Eli begged, eyes wide. When they arrived, Harper was stunned, not by the luxury, but by how Ethan treated the staff. Respectful. Kind. No airs. Eli was mesmerized. "Is this real? This is like a movie." Ethan knelt beside him. "You like computers?" Eli nodded. "I want to build video games one day." Ethan promised to show him the tech floor of his company. Harper watched silently, her chest tightening. At dinner, Harper pulled Ethan aside. "This is too much. We're not your project." He looked hurt. "You're not. You're a reminder of what I forgot to be." Enter Claire Jennings, Ethan's former fiancée and a cunning PR mogul. She had left him the moment his company's IPO stumbled briefly. Now, she saw Harper's photo online and seethed. A minor girl? Really? She hissed to her assistant. Claire made a call to the press. "I have a tip. Ethan Blake is dating a fraud who's pretending to be poor for fame." The tabloids exploded. Headlines called Harper a gold digger in disguise. Harper's phone buzzed endlessly. She buried her face in her hands, humiliated. Eli cried at school when classmates mocked him. Ethan was furious. He demanded legal action. But Harper asked quietly, "Can we just disappear for a while?" Ethan agreed. He flew with Harper and Eli back to their small mountain home. No cameras. No noise. Just the scent of pine and coal dust. He chopped wood. Cooked with Harper. Played video games with Eli. In the quiet, they grew closer. Ethan learned to live without boardrooms. Harper learned to trust. One night, under starlight, she whispered, "Why me, Ethan?" He looked into her eyes. "Because you said yes when no one else saw me. Because you see more than the money." She touched his hand. "I see the loneliness too." Weeks passed. The town had grown to love Mr. Ethan, though some remained skeptical. One evening, Ethan surprised Harper with a picnic on the ridge where she scattered her father's ashes. He pulled out a small, rustic ring, handmade by a local craftsman. No diamonds. Just a polished coal stone set in copper. He knelt. "Marry me, Harper. Not because I can give you everything, but because I finally know what I need." Tears welled in her eyes. Yes. 1,000 times, yes. Claire wasn't done. Bitter and humiliated, she leaked false documents suggesting Harper had received money in exchange for dating Ethan. News stations picked it up. Ethan's board panicked. Stocks wobbled. Reporters swarmed the small West Virginia town. One day, Harper opened her door to find a reporter shoving a mic in her face. "How much did he pay you?" Eli pushed the reporter back, trembling. "Leave my sister alone." Harper broke down. "I can't do this to him," she told Ethan that night. "Your world is too loud." Ethan was heartbroken. "So you're leaving me?" "I'm setting you free." "No," he whispered. "I've been rich and empty. I choose poor and loved. I choose you." Harper turned away, tears falling. "You don't get it. I have to protect my brother. You can't fight the world for us forever." The word stung. Silence filled the room. And Ethan left without another word. Days later, Ethan appeared on national TV. He addressed the rumors, exposed Claire's fabricated evidence, and publicly declared his love for Harper. "I've been rejected 20 times by people who saw the wealth first. Harper saw the soul. I'd trade every dollar for one more day with her." His speech went viral. America fell in love with their story. Public support turned. Claire's empire cracked. But Ethan wasn't looking for praise. He only wanted her back. One morning, Harper was hanging laundry when she heard footsteps. Ethan stood at the gate, dusty boots, tired eyes, and a tiny velvet box. "This time," he said, "no press. No money. Just me." She ran to him, wrapping her arms around his waist. "You came back. For my home," he whispered. "Which isn't a place. It's you." Eli burst from the house and tackled Ethan in a hug. "Took you long enough." A year later, they married in the same ridge where her father once stood. The guests were miners, neighbors, Ethan's humble friends. No media. Harper wore a second-hand lace dress. Ethan wore a flannel shirt. They said vows with tearful eyes and trembling hands. Eli stood proudly beside them, holding the rings. In the end, it wasn't the mansion or the money. It was the quiet strength of a girl who dared to say yes, when the rest of the world saw only what he had, not who he was. And it changed everything. Forever.